Hey soldiers, Joe Biden and his minions are engaged in a very dangerous economic deception, and it is designed to make you poorer. It's designed to make you subservient and dependent. And it's important that you be able to identify when they're lying. Actually, you can easily identify when they're lying. They start talking. But it's important to understand what they're lying about. We're going to examine a couple of those lies right now, starting with this one.
And right now, we don't see a recession. Right now, we're not in a recession right now. Right now, we're in a transition where we are going to go into a place of stable and steady growth, and that's going to be that's going to be our focus.
This nigga was clearly lying.
Now, there's no way that this woman does not understand that the Atlanta Fed put out a projection, as they do, every quarter, projecting what the GDP or the gross domestic product number will be for the previous quarter. So they came out, and this was about 4 days ago, and they said that it was going to be negative 1%. Now, we already had 3 months, 1 quarter of negative growth in the first quarter of 2022. A recession equals 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. So they initially projected that we'd see negative 1% growth for the second quarter. That would have made us officially a country that's in recession. But then they went back and revised the number, and now they're saying we're over 2% negative GDP for the second quarter. So we're deep into a recession. The Atlanta Fed put this information out. I'll link to it in the description. You can't tell me she doesn't have this, okay? She's lying, and she's been told to go out there and lie. I don't think Corinne Jean-Pierre, I don't think she really has a grasp of how the economy works in the first place. She always reads. Nothing's off the cuff. It's just, reading. So they send her out there with some cue cards, and she just follows the script. And she's not smart enough to be able to say, hey guys, wait a minute. The Atlanta Fed just projected negative growth for the second quarter. Wouldn't that put us in a recession because we've got two consecutive quarters? Do we really want to be this definitive on it right now? Why don't we just, equivocate a bit and wait? No, not even that smart. That's the first part of the deception. Now, if they are trying to convince you that you're not in a recession, then that is going to, if you listen to that garbage, it's going to cause you to possibly make mistakes in planning for the recession. It's not coming in 2023. It's here now. Right now, we are in recession. And let me tell you something. If that number comes out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in a couple of weeks and it says that we are on the plus side, that's a damn lie, okay? That's definitely a deception, because the Atlanta Fed has already not only projected, but projected again and showed an even greater loss of GDP for the second quarter of 2022. So then we've got, I am engaged in a process where my mother, she passed away, and my mother was a good woman. She didn't care about money. She was engaged in always helping people, and she was a strong Christian, and I'm trying to follow her example and be a better Christian. So there are some curse words that come to mind whenever I think of Joe Biden, but I'm going to refrain from using those words. I will say that this president is addled. He is clearly suffering from some sort of dementia, okay? And it is elder abuse that his family has him on the world stage. And it's not like he's some actor, okay, that, he's obviously got a problem. No, he's the leader of the free world, okay? Bruce Willis's family recently took him off of the stage because he's suffering, unfortunately, from some cognitive disorder. And it's not right to have people on display when that's happening to them. It's just totally evil. But it's dangerous when you have the president of the United States doing it. So they've obviously given him talking points to go out and continue to try to push this narrative that everybody's at fault except for him with regard to these gas prices. Here he is again. He's gone back to Russia. He's blaming Russia for everything, for the recession, for the oil prices, everything. Here he goes.
Ultimately, the reason why gas prices are up is because of Russia. Russia. The reason why the food crisis exists is because of Russia. Russia not allowing grain to get out of Ukraine.
Believe it or not, this fool has even started blaming gas station owners, local small business owners, for things that are clearly his fault. This man knows no shame. He's despicable. It's disgusting that this is what we have leading the economy of the United States of America. Okay, so there you have it. He's still, looking for any scapegoat he can find, when in fact, Joe Biden is solely responsible for the oil prices and what we're experiencing with this crisis today. He even came out here recently and he made some changes in America's ability to drill in certain parts of the country offshore. The environmentalists are not happy with it, but they wouldn't be happy with anything short of just going back to the Stone Ages. So to hell with them. Most of these environmentalists are rich trust fund people who don't understand how the economy works, let alone how the energy infrastructure works. They're not the people that make the country and the world go. People like you who get up in the morning and go to work and want to put something away and buy assets so you can pass them on and begin to accumulate generational wealth. They're not like you. These are total fascists. Okay? This is now a battle straight up between good and evil. People who want to oppress you economically and otherwise, and people who are saying, hey, wait a minute, we can move toward this new energy infrastructure, but why don't we include fossil fuel and gradually wean ourselves off of it as these other renewable technologies advance? No, they don't want to do that. And then to boot, we've talked about it before, Biden wants to go out and beg Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and even Iran for oil. Notice, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It might not be popular, but it's interesting, definitely interesting how he is okay with the environmental impact on the countries of color. Okay, isn't that what the Democrats are always, aren't they always touting messages like this? They're so duplicitous, all right, so hypocritical. But in the final analysis, he's saying we can't drill here. So we can't add our oil into the global supply chain to decrease prices, especially when he has interdicted and embargoed, and sanctioned rather, he's about to embargo, quite possibly, but sanctioned Russian oil, okay? So this is where we are. Now, the piece de resistance, the coup de grace or coup de grace, if you are from West Baltimore, is the fact that one of his advisors let the cat out of the bag, okay? And he went ahead and he just, maybe he didn't let the cat out of the bag. Maybe he's like, the hell with you guys. We're going to do what we want to do, and we don't give a damn what you think about it. But here he is telling you exactly why they want to stay the course. This is it, guys. They're not going to change course. What you got in this administration is what you're going to get.
What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
All right, as I said before the video, this is what you get for the next 2 years with these clowns, these fascist clowns that want to do everything they can to control you and impoverish you. Now, we always want to talk about what the hell do you do about these things? Well, for starters, there are primary elections going on in the country right now. Look, I love you all. I am so grateful that you watch this channel and that you have subscribed to it. If you haven't, go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit subscribe before I say what I'm about to say. If you're a Democrat, you'd be crazy. You'd be insane. With everything that's going on, it's going to be no liberal utopia, people. Okay? That's not what we are in store for here. Magnify what you've got right now by about a factor of 10. And I mean that. We're looking at oil prices over $200 for a barrel of oil. We're looking at prices at the pump of about $10. He'll still be blaming, Joe Bananas will still be blaming Russia when that happens, okay? And we've covered ad nauseum how it's his own fault. But that's what you're facing unless there is a check to his madness, okay? So when you go vote, this ain't a non-profit. I can talk about elections all I want. Now, share this video, because once the algorithm gets a wind of what I'm about to say, they probably ain't going to let this one go too far. But what you need to do is expel every Democrat you can from office. I don't care if they're running for school board, dog catcher, county council. Go in there. I don't care if you live in a deep blue state. Cast that vote against them. Send a message. Because if you look around the country, these blue areas they've just gone insane. Look at California. A whole entire state. People are fleeing from that state. Businesses even are leaving the state of California because taxation, regulation, it's just become too onerous. They've even said that they are not going to abide by the Supreme Court's new Second Amendment rule that they put out, okay? So they're a rogue faction over there on the West Coast. You like nice weather? Plenty of other places in the country you can get that. Places like Florida, Texas, Louisiana, lots of places where you can get water and you can get nice weather, okay? And the people who are in political power act like they've got some sense, act like they've read a textbook on macroeconomics at one point or another. I'm going to throw up how money walks. We've done this in the past. All these red areas are areas where money is leaving, and that is basically an indication that people are voting with their feet. They're leaving these states to go to the green states because the green states have better policies. The deeper the green, the better the economic flow into the area. The deeper the red, the higher the economic flow out of that area. People are voting with their wallets. They're voting with their feet. And you might want to do that too, because these red areas have excessive taxation and have excessive regulation, both of which are going to harm your economic prospects, your ability to achieve financial independence, or at this point, independence of any other type. Okay, if you look at a lot of the things that California is doing. Okay, guys, so that is all for now. Look, it's very simple. I'm not saying that you need to go out there and change your party affiliation. I'm saying that in these general elections that come up, most states allow you to cross party lines. Go ahead and cast that protest vote. Otherwise, if you're a Democrat, listen, I used to be a Democrat, okay? Until they left me. I didn't leave them, they left me. I'm going to tell you when they left me. I was working. I had been working for a few years. I was out of school and I was working. And I lived in a second floor apartment, and a lady lived above me. She was a very nice lady, but she was on a program. She had discussed this with me. She was on a program that Maryland had at the time called Move to Opportunity, where they would take people who did not work and they would put them in nice apartments. The thinking was that, this would help them achieve more, and this would put them in a different environment, and it would help them achieve more. Now, mind you, I came from nothing, and I worked my ass off to get into this apartment. And it's not like it was, George Jefferson's high rise or anything like that. It was a garden style apartment, and it was okay. It wasn't anything exorbitant. at all. It wasn't Trump Tower. But here I am on the second floor, and at night, I'm trying to get some rest, and this lady we had like parquet wood floors, like faux wood parquet floors. And this lady would walk around. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but she would walk around all night. And not only would she walk around, but she would walk around with these, like, I don't know what she was, clogs or high heels. I don't know what she was doing. And it was so difficult for me to get to sleep. And I'm like, if this lady had a job, which she didn't, she was on the government dole. If she had a job, she'd have to get up like me in the morning, and she wouldn't be able to stay up all night and make all this damn noise. Okay, so I got out of there eventually. It took me about a year to get the hell out of there, save enough money and move somewhere else. But that's the kind of thing where those types of programs are part and parcel. Now, mind you, the government had her under control because she was on their dole. She had even told me that, oh, well, I can't save. And we talked about investments and stuff. She was like, I can't save money because, or invest, because if I show the government that they do this like annual checkup of my finances, and if I show that I've got money in the bank or money invested, then they'll cut me off of this program. So, you know, I know some people are going to say, well, hell yeah, they're going to cut you off the program. And I tend to agree with that if you've got surplus. But is there some type of window that would allow her to gradually, you know, get better off financially while getting the help, so that she doesn't have to continue to get the help or come back at some point to get the help? But governments aren't like that. They want you on the dole. They want you dependent. And the Biden administration is clearly demonstrating that. Okay, guys. So that's all for now. I will talk to you soon.